Hey, what's up, Yoon-Fam? It is I,
Mark Yoon.
and today I'm bringing our hopefully exciting video. So what I got for you today is the start of that opinion series and that, I guess, breakdown series that I was talking to you guys about, where I'm going to be picking out certain comments or suggestions that are in the comment section and on Discord or on Reddit, whatever, anything postulated there, and answer them directly. So we take an entire video to talk about one person's comment. And this is a good way to highlight you guys. You know, I'm always trying to think about ways of incorporating the Yoon-Fam into the channel more, and I thought instead of doing a community video like once in a while, like twice a month, how about we just take one comment out and go ham on it? That way it's easier to express everything that I need to get off my chest about that question or topic, and the person who wrote it can get a full-fledged answer instead of like some couple sentences, like light structure that barely touches on what they wanted. So the first comment that we're going to deal with is today's video, and this is from Luis Estrada, or Luis. Sorry, I don't know which way to pronounce that, but Mr. Estrada says, in a perfect world, the Soulcalibur 6 or 7 as part of the Shepards cast would include SCVI, Viola, Aeon, Rock, Yoon-Song, Ocelot, KittyMeowser, Shura, Jiggerdot, Arcturus, and Bangu, all with revamped and original fighting styles. Maybe do a lore for each character and what different directions the characters go in, if any, in our own fantasy mind, our headcanon, with the current timeline. So, this is a good question and a good reason to do a video, and the thing that I want to touch on first is that a lot of those characters can't come back into the Soulcalibur franchise, unfortunately, especially characters like Ocelot and KittyMeowser and Shura. Those were created by mangaka in kind of like a correlation or correspondence with Soulcalibur 4, with Project Souls for bonus characters for their game. So Bandai Namco does not own the rights to those characters. The original mangaka who actually put them in their manga and in Soulcalibur are the ones that hold the rights to those, the licenses. So we wouldn't be able to put them in the game unless somehow Bandai Namco bought or lent or purchased the rights from those mangaka to have them back in the series. And being that Soulcalibur 6 is a reboot of sorts, at least a new timeline, I find it very unlikely that Bandai Namco would allocate any resources to bringing back older characters that are not going to be a part of this timeline. With that going forward out of the way, there's a couple of the other characters on there, mainly everyone except for SCVI and Viola, who are definitely not going to be swords or shepherds. SCVI and Viola are definitely going to be, they're already mentioned in the story as being like a sword and a shepherd. We see that definitely coming up. Well, we don't see it directly between the two of them, but we can kind of see the relationship that Ishka has with Wan Gabak and how they are in relation to each other. So we can definitely see a Viola and SCVI thing going on there. We talked about in the live stream the other day how we can switch and flip both of those, and it wouldn't really matter either way which one of those would be correct, because I think both could work. Now, in the case of Aeon, Rock, and Yoon-Song, who are, slated to be the characters that are released with Season 3's DLC, Part 3, I think they're going to be doing something vastly different. I think Rock and Aeon are going to be heavily intertwined because of the whole thing about Bangu being, abducted by the Fugal Systemus and stuff like that, and Aeon either becoming the leader of them or trying to confront them in some way, I don't know, they're going to do something with them together. But I think Yoon-Song is going to go off on his own journey, just like he did in the previous iterations of the game. I think he's going to start off with Song Mina and Hwang Sung-kyung, and then Hong Yoon-Song is going to go do his own thing. So I don't think they're actually going to be part of that either. And these are all, the swords and the shepherds are weird, okay? I know I explained this in a different video, but let's just glass over this really quick, because in the story mode it says that Soul Edge, takes a part of the soul or will, as you will, of the people that it ensnares or it attacks. And those all amalgate into one being inside of Nightmare. And now these beings have broken off into multiple separate personalities, and these personalities are given attributes, and some of them are swords and some of them are shepherds. Now, they always travel in pairs, similar to how we see the Akatsuki do in Naruto, especially in Shippuden. and we're going to have one person that's the control factor that gets things done, and then we're going to have the other person who is the attacker or the fighter, as we see with Ishka and with Wan Gobak. Now, those two are a perfect example of what we're going to see with these teams going forward. So you're definitely going to have a dynamic there. You might have some interesting dynamics sporadically throughout of like characters that don't like each other but are forced to be teamed up and stuff like that, or maybe a kind of Hidan and Kakuzu sort of situation, like unlikely allies that are forced to get along because of Nightmare's wishes or whatever, or the Soul Edge's wishes itself. But that's all stuff that we can talk about down the road when we actually start seeing stuff like that. But as for the 3 characters from DLC 3, I think that they're gonna, they're not gonna be a part of that. We see that like their whole mission right now is going around and collecting the shards of Soul Edge that were lost, but they're letting them fill up with power first. Obviously, this is going to lead to like an awakening of either Algol or the Ultimate Seed or something with the Ancients. It has something to do with any of that, but pretty much the we're going to call them the Shepards and Swords going forward, just like they do in the story. The Shepards and Swords are obviously going to be on this journey and encountering the different heroes, which is going to really have the individual characters stand out in their own stories, just like you saw Shikamaru's team from Naruto when they actually went to go avenge their sensei. There was a big deal about like Hidan and Kakuzu encountering them. Obviously Naruto ended up showing up in the end and like helping out a lot, but that really gave those characters time to shine. And I think we're going to see similar narratives with this going forward. We're going to have certain teams that are teamed up together taking on these pairings. And that's going to lead to a lot of good fights, so we'll see how that is, but 7's shaping up to be awesome from that perspective. As far as Arcturus and Bangu, without any indication that they are in the story thus far, I wouldn't say that they're actually part of the canon just yet. Perhaps Bangu is the most likely because Rock is in Soul Edge and Soul Blade, the first game, and it is part of his bio, about like washing up on shore and then like meeting the native people and adopting Bangu. So that is still probably part of the canon. But like I said before, until it's explicitly stated in the new games, we shouldn't take anything as automatically canon, even though the events of Soul Edge were said to have happened. Things have changed that have been different in those games. So our perspectives on that has to shift with the new narrative developing in the future. So I hope that makes sense. And of course, his last point with all revamped and original fighting styles, I think that we'll see more of a revamping. I don't know if we're going to see too many more original styles. The swords, unfortunately, with the Shepards might turn out to be just like creative character bosses, just like we saw in Hwang Sung-young's story, his Soul Chronicle. Now, whether any of them become fully fleshed out actual modeled characters in the future going forward is unbeknownst to me at this time. I can only go with the information that we have given to us, and I can only speculate further on that. But I think we're pretty much going to see the similar situation where the Shepards don't fight, the swords do the fighting, the Shepards do the controlling or the herding, if you will. And then when things come down to brass taxes and when push comes to shove, they're going to fuse into this like crazed, malefested fighter that gives our heroes a run for their money. But I hope that answers your question, Mr. Estrada, and thank you for the comment. And we'll be covering more of this throughout the week from different people, so keep looking forward to that. And with that being said, we're going to bring this video to a close. I want to say thank you guys for watching. If you want to join the channel, become a member of the Yoon-Fam, there's a lot of benefits to that, and the join button is next to the subscribe button. Also, look in the description box for other great channels to follow, along with my Discord links and stuff like that, so you can get in contact with me directly. But there's always the comment section, too, if you feel most comfortable doing that. And we're going to end it here, and as always, I like it. Thank you.
And thank you.